guess you're feeling the
Yes, hello. I'm going to explain to you the intricacies of the Roblox game called Pressure. Pressure is another doors/rooms inspired game where you walk around rooms until you die or manage to survive and get a shiny crystal for some old hollowed out fucking barely clinging on to life man. To start with, I'm going to introduce you to the main game before talking about all the other game modes that this game has. Firstly, let it be known that you're a criminal, a death row convict in fact, and you're tasked with retrieving a special healing crystal that provides power for the entire Urban Shade facility. Urban Shade being this kinda SCP-like corporation that does research and experiments on different entities. Sounds familiar, does it? Well, why does Urban Shade want us to retrieve this crystal for them? Well, just so you know, some angry fucking fish decided to wreak havoc alongside with his little AI buddy. So because of that, the entire facility is covered with random fuck-ass entities. Now, once you get dropped off at the dock, and once you open your first door using a keycard, this is where the game begins. The first 10 doors will be uneventful until you see the lights flicker. Who could that be? Unbeknownst to you, the angler has just spawned and is going through rooms without any consideration for your health and well-being. Let's talk about entities, whilst we're slowly progressing through different environments. There are two types of entities within Pressure, those being node-type entities and free roam type entities. Now let's just stick to the basic node entities like Angler. Angler acts the exact same way as Rush from doors. The lights flicker, and after some time Angler spawns in, and you need to hide, either in a locker or you could hide in a corner if you're far enough away from Angler. Because with node-type entities, they only follow the shortest path between the first door and the upcoming door, so the Angler totally avoids you as long as you're not within its kill box. And even if you're within its kill hitbox, if you're completely hidden from Angler or the other types of entities, then you will not die. For example, vents and other spots that fully hide you from the Angler. Secondly, there are more than just one Angler, because there are many different types of Angler variants that you need to worry about. Take for example Pinky. Pinky is just the same as Angler, but with a very important distinction. The lights don't flicker, but no worries, Pinky is very slow, so you have ample time to go ahead and hide somewhere. You'd know that Pinky is arriving at your doorstep by hearing a screeching noise that progressively gets louder and louder, giving you enough time to react. And also call me a schizophrenic, but sometimes, while I'm going through vents, I hear a screeching noise and I instantly think that Pinky is coming, but that's just me. Thirdly, we have Frogger. With Frogger, it goes forward and later rebounds to the other direction, similar to Ambush from Doors. Later it comes back after a while and passes you for the final time, in total passing you about 3 times. After you see Frogger pass you for the 3rd time, it is safe for you to go ahead further, and Frogger is such a time killer, especially if you're speedrunning, because it is very much RNG dependent on how long you'd have to wait until Frogger comes back for round 3. Killing precious time, and over time Frogger could get quite annoying simply because of how long you'd have to stand there and do absolutely nothing. Fourthly, let's talk about Chainsmoker. Chainsmoker is very slow, probably because of how much smoke he has been inhaling in the past decade or so. But because he's so slow, that could throw off your timing for going into a locker, forcing you out and getting sent to the underworld for some reason. My advice would be to wait until you see Chainsmoker enter the room that you're already in, and then hiding in a locker. As well, if Chainsmoker passes you, you could simply follow his smoke trail, allowing you to see what's in front of you and not spawning any additional entities. Then we have Blitz. You know when Blitz is going to blitz past your rooms by the fact that the lights will flicker longer than what they usually flicker for. When that happens, it is best advised to immediately hide in a safe spot or instantly hide in a locker, because Blitz is so fast when he bomb rushes you to a point where you wouldn't be able to react to him coming towards you. Well, except if you have an insane reaction time. That sums up all the node entities that you'll meet during your playthrough. Now let's talk about all the other entities that you will encounter. First of them being good people. If you go into a room and there are multiple working doors with numbers showing on them, that means only one door is safe and the rest are made by good people. Note that in rooms that don't have any lights turned on, the door that has a working light is the false one. Or you could also stand next to a door and listen closely for any breathing noises. And then we have Infestation. This little sharky fella appears in rooms with windows, and if you stare at it, you'll take damage. You could enrage Infestation with a flash beacon, causing you to crash out and making your game feel like you're trying to control an angry dog with how much you need to control your mouse. Then comes the Squiddles. They are very simple, only appearing in the darkness, and only attacking you if you flash a light at them for a long period of time. But flash beacons and the blacklight don't aggravate them, so you'll be fine. Now some lockers are safer than the others, because if you open the wrong locker, you'll meet the Void Mass, a tentacle-like creature that pulls you in and deals damage to you, forcing your teammates to save you or just leave you to die, these sons of bitches. And if you're playing solo, you'll just instantly die. So yeah, always double check which locker you're trying to get in. And after that you need to watch behind you because at that point a wall dweller would have probably spawned in. They pop out of the wall and follow you. If you allow them to get too close to you, they're going to take a nice bite from you, killing you instantly. I'd recommend looking behind you from time to time like a paranoid schizophrenic. And also if they get killed by an angler or something, they drop a wall dweller chunk, which you could eat and gain regeneration that lasts the entire game. Then you have the Redeemer, a revolver that forces you to spam E. If you don't, then you will shoot yourself in the face, which is not good. And lastly, we have the Candle Bearers. They will appear from time to time on your run, slowly but surely walking towards you, and they stop once you flash a light source at them. Most of the time you'll encounter them in other game modes like Endless or the Raveyard. Finally, you've reached the end and managed to grab the crystal. Now you just have to pass the ridge. In the ridge, there will be no lights flickering and indicating you whenever an entity will rush towards you. As well, it's filled with squiddles and loudspeakers that will blow your head off if you stand too close to them. But worse yet, this is where you'll meet your worst enemy, Pandemonium. If you haven't already met Pandemonium earlier in the run, then you will probably meet him in the ridge, most likely. With Pandemonium, he's not like you're any other regular no-type entity. No, he roams around until Pandemonium spots you. Once Pandemonium spots you, he will aggro and start chasing you until you go into a locker, where you will have to play his dreaded fucking minigame for 3 minutes. After that, he will peacefully leave you alone until the next time you encounter him. And if you're particularly unlucky, you could meet him multiple times in a single run, forcing you to play his minigames over and over again. Now for real this time, you can finally escape the ridge, and oh wait, there is more. The Vultus Luminaria, or otherwise called the Searchlights. It's a very big fish that swims around, and by the name of it you'd be correct to guess that a big ass fish uses multiple beaming lights to search for you, and once you accidentally stumble into one of its lights, the searchlights will shoot out a barbed rod towards you, dealing you damage, and later pulling you into its mouth, killing you instantly. And additionally, there are other entities that are not that important to talk about, like you have Mr. Lopi that appears if you get left behind by your teammates, the bottom feeder that follows you underwater, the Divine that don't really like it when you step under grass and attack you, Candle Brutes, they're just like candle bearers but bigger and slower, Deep Sea Bunnies that you could trade with, the Imaginary Friend that will keep you company if you're playing alone, and Abstract Art, they literally do nothing but just stand there and creep you out. As well, there are other grand encounters that you'll face if you play the game, like the Firewall or Abomination. With the Firewall, you need to parkour your way out of the jet suit evaluation course before the wall of fire kills you, and with the Abomination, you swim using a sea glider, avoiding all types of obstacles like spinning blades, underwater naval mines, and much more. And finally, actually finally this time, you reach the end where you step inside the submarine and go on your merry way to give back the crystal back to that old sack of shit, and later get a freedom that you very much didn't deserve. But wait, what if you didn't do all these things and instead followed orders and destroyed the rogue AI computer? Well, you're going to make the big angry fish mad. Meet Sebastian. He acts as a shopkeeper in a halfway checkpoint within Urban Shade, and he has a nice little murderous friend slash rogue AI called the Painter. Now if you decide to kill the Painter, then our little big long fish friend will most certainly get mad. If you go into a safe place, you'll see that he's no longer there. Well then, where could he be? You also get the added benefit of those turrets not firing at you, so that's nice. Well, it seems like Sebastian is busy doing something. I should better get that healing crystal, escape the ridge, you say to yourself, until you open the final door and oh hey, there's Sebastian, long time no see. As you could have guessed, from him ripping your heart out, literally, Sebastian doesn't take it kindly that you killed his friendly AI companion.
Bugs under your skin. There are bugs.
And later he gets absolutely fucking disintegrated by Mr. Lopi, thus forcing you to start over again and actually complete the game without breaking poor Sebastian's heart. And that concludes the base game. Now it's time to mention all the other game modes that exist in Pressure, with the first one being Endless. Now Endless is endless. Your submarine crashes into the Urban Shade facility and your goal is to go past as many rooms as possible before you get killed or kill yourself because of the boredom. As well, after a certain number of doors, you'll find a long bridge that connects the facility to the ridge. But don't worry, the entity spawn rate stays the same. It's not like in the base game, where inside the ridge entity spawn rates are more frequent. It's a bit more relaxed to be honest, and all the entities stay the same without any changes. Except for one new entity. Once submarine crashes, take a left turn behind the wrecked submarine. There you'll find a skull, interact with it by holding E, and seemingly nothing happens. You just get a very ominous message, and that's it. You can just walk freely without needing to worry. Until the lights turn red and all the lockers start opening and closing by themselves, and then you see it, the Harbinger. The Harbinger acts similar to Pandemonium, by following you around and forcing you to go inside of a locker, except with the Harbinger it does not have an aggro state, meaning it will just simply follow you slowly, either catching up to you or forcing you to go in a locker, which also forces you to play one of the most ridiculous fucking minigames out there that takes over 10 goddamn minutes to complete. Even Sebastian himself thinks that's unfair and gives you another free revive, allowing you to continue further. Oh, there's also a secret room where you could gamble away all of your life savings, and yet somehow get the same fucking Necrobloxicon for the 5th fucking time. That's pretty much it for Endless. Time to talk about the Raveyard. The Raveyard starts with you with trying to enter a rave with a bunch of skeletons. But there's only one small issue. You're not allowed to go in there. And once you pass the big skeleton security guard, he'll start to chase you. Your goal is to run and evade him, or else you'll get a random haymaker thrown at you like he's out for revenge. And then you finally manage to escape him. But that's not the end, because next you'll need to go through a dungeon filled with water, and there's also this long ass skeleton caterpillar that will follow you around called the Skelipede. Just make sure you move around and not get caught by that thing. Then after you're done with this section, you'll fall into water and end up in another dungeon. But this time you'll be accompanied by candle bearers and candle brutes. Finally, after some time, you're back to the Raveyard, and this is where you'll be accompanied by not one, but two skeleton bouncers that will chase you to a church while you need to run up the stairs and flip a lever, causing everyone to mysteriously disappear, allowing you to leave and go ahead and do something else, like doing the Hunted Expedition. Now before you even step into that submarine, you'll need to first find the 4 notes with numbers on them, the first one being inside of a shipment container, the second one being under a pile of planks next to the Hunted submarine site, third one being under this pallet next to the 8-player and 50-player submarines, and the last one being way far up that you'll need to first get yourself on top of a catwalk and walk towards that yellow crane thing. There at the end of it you'll find the last note with the last remaining 2 digits. Combine all of the numbers from the paper into the proper order and you'll get a code. Now you can go into the submarine and sail away into the Hunted Expedition. Once you land, go and take a left turn towards the stairs and up. There you'll see a door. Even though it looks like it can't open, if you walk up to it, the door will open, making you enter a room. Inside of it, you'll find a door with a passkey. Now take the same code that you've just combined from all the pages and enter it into the door, making it unlock and open. Take the decoder off the table. Wait a minute, did I just say decoder? Nevertheless, you could head back and start the game by walking through the first door, and after a while you'll meet your first entity, the Crooked. Now the Crooked acts the same way as a Weeping Angel or SCP-173 from that one game I talked about. If you look at him, he will not move, but once you turn away from him, he will run towards you, and if the Crooked reaches you, he'll give you a mean slap over the head and then gently pick you up and caress you softly before going back to his usual state. But also he could help you by warning you about an upcoming threat called the Pipsqueak. Now don't let his silly little name fool you, because Pipsqueak behaves just like Pandemonium, except Pipsqueak silently goes through rooms and doesn't flicker any lights. You'll know when Pipsqueak is going to arrive by when you see the Crooked run and hide inside of a locker. By then you should also probably hide inside of a locker as well, or you could simply hide from Pipsqueak, because Pipsqueak works just the same way as Pandemonium, just without the minigames. There's also another entity called Rebarb. Just use a flash beacon to scare them away once they get aggroed, and that's pretty much it. But wait a minute, in rooms 33, 28, 19, 10 and 6, there will be a radio that you could interact with, twisting the notch till you hear the audio getting cleared up, and then you need to pull out the decoder that you have and wait till it decodes the radio signal into a code. After doing this with every single radio and then finishing the level, you need to walk forwards towards another fake door. Opening it will lead you to a stairway. You go down it and then put the password from the decoder into the door. And now this is where the nightmare begins. Welcome to the vault section of the Hunted Expedition or whatever. Here you'll meet all the same entities that you've already seen before, with one extra entity being added, called the Witching Hour. He'll slowly start approaching you and you need to collect all 50 shards within 5 minutes before he gets you. On top of that, you'll need to worry about oxygen, about the entities, and later there will even be puddles of lava on the floor that deal damage to you. This is seriously a multi-management nightmare, because you have to deal with all of this whilst having to take care of the Crooked and having only 5-10 minutes to spend collecting all the shards. I died there so many times, but luckily you respawn back to the beginning of the vault, so there's no issue with that. And let me just tell you, after the 6th time I died, I knew I had to lock in and finish this for the video. And so I collected all the 50 shards and everything calmed down. Later, you'll need to jump into a very suspicious looking hole, and then finally you've reached the so-called vault. Go inside of it and grab the mega token, and tada, you've completed the vault section. And before I end this video, I need to show you something first. A little secret perhaps. If you go down where all the other game modes are at, and you walk inside of an elevator, which will transport you downstairs, then you have to take a left turn, and you'll see a very ominous blue Freddy Fazbear with one extra eye. Walk up to him, and you will get transported into 3 Nights at the Black site. The game mode is pretty much self-explanatory if you know anything about FNAF games and how they work. I'll not say anything further about it, just that at night, Sebastian gets a little quirky. And that finishes the video about pressure. As always, thank you for sticking around and watching through the entire video. Goodbye till next time. See ya.